Did you know that in the lineage of Jesus, there are not only remarkable men, but also 5 incredible women? They were not just women in history. They were key figures in God's plan, even though society at that time did not give much attention to women. And their stories will amaze you. Let's begin the journey of uncovering these untold stories. These are not ordinary characters. They carry with them extraordinary stories, from challenges to triumphs full of meaning. They were women who dared to face adversity, things society could never accept. And they not only survived, but made a profound impact, influencing major turning points in history. Especially in the genealogy of Jesus, these women were not just names. They were symbols of perseverance, sacrifice, and unconditional love. They came from different cultures, from circumstances no one could imagine. Yet they all had one thing in common: faith in God's power. They are Tamar, Rahab, Ruth, Bathsheba, and Mary. Each one has her own story, a journey that led to the birth of Jesus. Let's explore each of these women, starting with the story of Tamar. You'll be amazed by Tamar's story and how it played a role in the great journey of Jesus. But Tamar's story is not just about endurance. It's about unmatched patience and sacrifice. So, who is Rahab? Keep watching to discover the next story. First, we have Tamar, a smart and courageous woman who defended her rights in a society filled with injustice. Her story, though difficult to hear, stands as a powerful testament to standing up for life and justice, even when faced with social isolation. Next, we have Rahab, a woman deemed low by society, yet a crucial figure in protecting Israel's people. Rahab's story is a testament to forgiveness and transformation, as she went from a prostitute to being part of a grand redemptive plan. Third is Ruth, a widow from Moab, a people considered outsiders. But Ruth showed love and loyalty not just to her mother-in-law, but also to God. Ruth's story is not only about love, but also about perseverance and loyalty. Then there's Bathsheba, who endured great tragedy but remained a vital part of the lineage of King David and Jesus. Even in the toughest of times, Bathsheba ensured the continuation of David's lineage, paving the way for the birth of the greatest king in Israel's history. She stood firm, a symbol of strength in the darkest of times. Finally, we have Mary, the mother of Jesus, a young woman, simple yet entrusted with the greatest mission in human history. Mary was not only the mother of the Savior, but she carried the great mission of bearing and nurturing the Savior. Mary's story is not just a story of motherhood, but one of complete obedience to God's will. She was an essential part of the grand redemptive plan God had set for humanity. So, what can we learn from these women? Resilience, loyalty, and unwavering faith. We can see that the women in Jesus' genealogy are not just characters in an ancient story. They were real people who overcame challenges, societal prejudices, and hardships. They were not just mentioned for their lineage, but were active participants in God's redemptive plan. Bathsheba, despite tragedy, stood firm and played a key role in the continuation of David's dynasty. Mary, a simple woman, but with unwavering faith, fulfilled her calling and became the mother of the Savior. Ruth's story is not just about love, but about perseverance and trust in God through every circumstance. Rahab, with her loyalty, protected the Israelites and transformed her life from a sinner to one loved by God. Despite past mistakes, Bathsheba continued her mission, becoming an essential part of King David's legacy. Mary was not only the mother of the Savior, but also a model of obedience and perseverance through all challenges. These women are living testimonies of God's love and grace, influencing history and serving as models for us to follow. But what makes these stories truly remarkable? It's the event that seems impossible in any genealogy. These 5 women, despite coming from difficult circumstances, contributed to the powerful lineage from David to Jesus. They weren't just supporting characters in history. They were warriors rising above adversity. Through them, we see a powerful message. God's redemption is not limited by gender, status, or past. Their stories are testimonies to the power of faith. And through them, we learn that no matter where we come from, we can be part of a greater plan. Let us remember, in the genealogy of Jesus, there are no barriers to those who can be part of the salvation journey. These women paved the way to redemption, even though society once looked down on them. Through their stories, we see that no matter the circumstances, we can all become those who bring light to the world. And these women, along with Jesus, brought us the message that anything is possible if we believe in God. Looking at the genealogy of Jesus, we see one thing. God used those who seemed insignificant to carry out his grand plan of salvation. Redemption is not meant for a select group, but for all of us, those who believe and embrace his unconditional love. Thus, the story of these women is a reminder for us of perseverance, faith, and the boundless love God has for all people. Let this story inspire you so that you may reflect on your life and your own role in God's grand plan. Never forget that, no matter where we come from, with faith, we can all be part of the story of redemption. This path is not just for one, but for all of us who are willing to believe in redemption. With faith, we can walk together on this journey toward eternal redemption. Together, we create a strong community, a family of those seeking redemption and love. Let the light of redemption shine in your heart and lead you on the path of truth and life. These stories are an endless source of inspiration, reminding us that everyone can change and be part of God's great plan. So never let your past or circumstances stop you from moving forward, for God is always ready to embrace you. We must be strong together, not just for ourselves, but for those around us, to create a better world. Every step we take is a mark on this journey of redemption. Keep walking with faith and hope. Through each story, we realize that every hardship has a reason, and every path leads to redemption. When one chapter ends, another begins. This is just the beginning of a greater journey. Let us move forward together, for we are those with faith, those who can change this world. And with each new day, we have the opportunity to walk in the light of redemption. The stories of these women not only help us understand their important roles in the genealogy of Jesus, but also reflect a deep message about perseverance, forgiveness, and the significance of each individual in God's grand plan. Tamar, Rahab, Ruth, Bathsheba. Each one carries their own story, a lesson for us about courage and sacrifice. Though these women were often marginalized or outcast by society, they remained steadfast in their faith and contributed to God's plan of salvation. The forgiveness that Jesus taught is not just for the worthy, but for all of us, even when we feel undeserving. Just like these women, we too can make the world a better place by living with patience and forgiveness. They are not only inspirations, but living proof of the strength of faith and love. Their influence is not only in their own lives, but also in the teachings of Jesus about love, justice, and compassion. Jesus came to teach all people, and in the stories of these women, we see the generosity of God. We can learn from these stories how to love and forgive not only our loved ones, but also those around us. And through their actions, we realize that each person has an important role in God's grand plan. We are all part of this great story. We all have a role in contributing to the change of the world. Remember, in every trial, in every hardship, God is always with us. Perseverance and forgiveness will lead us to a life full of peace and love. Let us learn from these stories and live with faith and perseverance, just like the women in the genealogy of Christ. For in each of us, God sees great potential and sacrifice that can change the world. We can see that every small act of love and forgiveness creates great change. Let this story continue to spread, like seeds of love and forgiveness sown in the hearts of people. And remember, no matter the difficulties, God is always leading the way for us. Even when we go astray, God's love and forgiveness always bring us back to the right path. So open your hearts and give love, forgive others as God has forgiven us. We are walking the path that God has set before us, and every step we take has a purpose. Each story, each action of these women brings valuable lessons for us. Remember, it is only when we learn to forgive and persevere that we truly grow in faith. Just like trees need time to grow, our faith and love need to be nurtured every day. We can be the shining stars in the dark night, lighting up the world with love and forgiveness. As we look back, these women were not just the foundation of a genealogy, but symbols of the values that Jesus taught. Though they came from different backgrounds, their union in one grand story helped shape the mission of Christ's redemption. The genealogy of Jesus is a testimony to the miracle of grace, and the story of these women is not just in the past. It still lives on in the lessons we can learn today. Let this story be an inspiration for us to never give up, no matter the circumstances, for God is always by our side. We can see that every action of theirs, no matter how small, contributed to God's grand plan. These stories will never grow old, for each time we hear them, we find newness and hope. Let every story in his genealogy remind us of the boundless love and salvation he brings. For only when we understand these stories do we truly understand Christ's mission and the importance of grace. So let us live each day with faith, perseverance, and love, just as the women in God's genealogy did. Never forget that redemption comes not only from God, but also from the way we love and live for each other. Together, we can build a world full of love, justice, and grace. Let God's love and grace saturate every step you take and be a part of his grand plan. For only God can bring us true redemption, and only through him can we find eternal peace. Remember, you are never alone, for God is always with you, guiding you on the path of redemption. Live each day with gratitude, for each day is a gift from God. God's love and redemption are not just theories, but actions in our daily lives. Believe that, no matter the ups and downs of life, God's love is always steadfast and eternal. God's love is impartial, and he calls all of us close to him to receive his boundless grace. Let these stories guide you on the path of redemption and find faith in every step you take. No matter the circumstance, these women demonstrate love, resilience, and courage. Every day is an opportunity to live by the values God has taught, for we do not live for ourselves alone, but for future generations to pass on faith and hope. Remember, God's light always shines, and you just need to find it in your heart. God is always with you in every moment of your life, and he invites you to walk the path of redemption, to live in the light of his endless love and grace. So what do you think about the women in the genealogy of Jesus? How did they change the world? Leave your thoughts in the comments below this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other inspiring stories from biblical history. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep following to explore more amazing stories from the Bible.